Welcome to Week in Horror.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
The only podcast that will feed your horror need.
The need to feed.
With JL.
Yeah, I'm a fucking masochist. I'll watch that shit.
Eugene.
Somebody has to be the sex symbol, I'm sorry.
Alex.
Shit, I just demonetize this forever.
And Johnny O.
How do you like that shit? Got halfway through the monologue before unmuting myself. Golly, it's one of them fucking days.
With industry guests.
Hi, this is Richard Oakes, Director of Host.
Hey, this is Adam Leader, Director of Host.
This is Matthew Mark Hunter.
I'm Don and Ellie.
And you're listening to Week in Horror.
And you're listening to Week in Horror.
And this is Week in Horror.
And you're listening to Week in Horror.
Welcome to prime time, bitch!
News, trivia, and more.
One by one, we will take you.
Join our live show Wednesdays at 7 Central, youtube.com/weekinhorror, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Week in Horror. Stay scared.
Well. Welcome back, horror fans. It's Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, and that means it's time for another episode of the Week in Horror podcast. The only podcast whose best friend is their mother. Well, geez. Thank you for joining our live show, and for all of our podcast listeners, be sure to check us out so you too can interact directly with the show. This week, we're covering select films released in horror history, August 15th through August 21st? 21st. Apparently, this is the Mike Tyson copy.
the only typo in the script. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm Johnny O, and with me tonight are Alex and JL.
What's up, everybody? It's hot as balls. My internet connection sucks. It's just a typical Wednesday.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good to see everyone.
And taking some time out of their insane schedule to nerd out with us over this week's horror selections, the minds behind the upcoming crowdsourced horror film, The Red River Expressway Killer. An incredible group of talent, both in front and behind the camera. We have Chance Gibbs, Jason Vandygriff, Trey Murphy, and Eric Oberto. I hope I said those names correctly.
Well, you said mine correctly.
There's Chance. Good to see you, Chance. Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely.
And there's Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. Thank you for coming out tonight. And Trey Murphy's in the house.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having us on.
JL, I want you to take notice of Trey Murphy's background.
That's the fourth time you've reminded me of this. His background is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And Eric Oberto.
Home, honey, I'm high. How the fuck are you guys?
Doing great,
bro.
Excellent. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I want to be where Eric is. He gets to sit next to Jack and Sir Anthony Hopkins. That's where I want to be.
Good place to be.
Oh, this is what happens when I get away from the script. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? Are we having some fun tonight, or what are we doing?
Waiting for Alex to pick up his cue.
We are, seriously, guys. No, seriously, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And for the audience, these guys will be dishing on their careers, their upcoming projects, and more bloody news during the Week in Horror After Dark. So join us for that.
Yes. Now, okay. So before we dive in tonight, so a big, huge thank you to all of you for taking the time. I know things are absolutely crazy. Things are amazing with the Indiegogo campaign for Red River Expressway Killer. I cannot wait to see it when it comes out, and I know that everybody in the live chat is looking forward to it. I've got the link to support this, support their campaign. I think you guys are in your current stretch goal, right?
We are. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So we got the link for that down in the description below, so feel free to check that out. I believe the trailer for it is up there, and if you guys like what you see, throw these guys a bone. They've got something really good in the works. I cannot wait for it to come out. Now, before we dive into the movies, we were chatting a little bit before, and 2021 so far has turned out to be what I consider to be an amazing year for horror films. Of all production values. As a matter of fact, there's like a number of ones that are coming out that I'm looking forward to this year. There's like stuff like Antlers, The Night House, Last Night in Soho is one from Edgar Wright I'm seriously looking forward to. So I was curious, I wanted to ask everybody, including all of our awesome guests, is there a particular film this year that you're looking forward to coming out that you've just been like kind of chomping at the bit for? We'll just go around the room. Trey, is there anything big you're looking forward to hitting theaters or hitting DVD or hitting like streaming release?
You already actually mentioned 2 of them. Antlers, I'm really excited to see. And the main reason I want to see that is because of the poster. The poster just kicks ass. I remember going to the theaters, and I hadn't even heard of it. I saw the poster and thought, this looks fucking cool. So I've been staying away from everything else on it. It's like you sold me on the poster. So you throw a bunch of antlers and Del Toro's name on it, I'm there.
Yes,
but that one,
definitely.
and then Last Night in Soho, which I couldn't stay away from anything on that just because it's Edgar Wright, it's horror, and it's Anya Taylor-Joy, and it looks like it looks amazing. It's straight. It feels like straight De Palma, in his prime, and I'm excited to check that out.
Nice. What about you, Jason? What you looking forward to?
Fucking Antlers, dude. I've been waiting for that movie for years, dude. They keep delaying that shit, and I've been watching the teaser. I watched the teaser, and I was like, I need this shit, and then they delay it. Fucking COVID comes along and ruins it. Dude, that teaser just grabbed me by the nuts and was like, you will watch this movie. This is going to be like one of the most influential movies of the freaking 2010.
Oh, it's been killing me.
No, you're right. You were right the first time. Of 2010.
Who knows?
Every single time, I mean, every week at least, I look for an update, try and find out. Now I think it's supposed to be this November this year.
Yeah,
I think is what's slated. So, but I mean, yeah, it's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and I'm like, stop it. So, yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Big time. Chance, what are you looking forward to, bud?
The one I'm looking forward to the most releases November 16th in Walmart, and it's called Amityville Cult, written by Trey Murphy, and starring myself.
Nice.
And then Antlers.
William H. Macy level shamelessness.
All right, and Eric, what are you looking forward to coming out?
I'm hoping it gets out. So I got the opportunity to pre-screen Malibu Horror Story. It's Dustin Harris production in LA, and Chance pre-screened it with me as well. It was called the Malibu Tapes, if you look it up, but it's now called Malibu Horror Story. They finished it right before COVID, and the shit hit the fan, so they're trying to recycle and get it back out there. But the film is awesome. It's got so many good scares in it, and some that aren't even legit scares that just catch you off guard. The artistic value in it's awesome. Storyline's pretty good. It's a fun ride, so I'm hoping it gets out before the end of the year because it's good.
Nice. All right, Alex, what you looking forward to, or did we already cover them all?
No, the movie Nope.
Oh, Nope.
I can't wait to see more on that. But anyways, you guys nailed it with Antlers, and we've talked about it before. I'm from up in the Northwoods. I'm from the Wendigo area. I know it's been a part of my life. What?
Trey didn't want to know anything about it.
He doesn't know anything about it.
Okay.
That's not. I'm not giving anything. That's nothing. That's not in the trailers.
He said
you can see it
Winnebago
on the
area.
poster. You can tell what it is.
Winnebago area.
Yeah, so I was all over that kind of stuff as a kid. So this one, like Jason was talking about, it grabs you, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, but when? Tell me when. Are you sure? November?
Fingers crossed. I really hope so. I really do. I've been dying for this movie. Every time it's like I've been looking forward because of the whole situation with the pandemic and everything. I've been looking forward to either be automatically digitally distributed or something. And they've been so. I mean, there's been a couple of trailers that have been released, and it's just so few and far between. The information is so limited on it, and I'm like, I'm going to be 41 by the time this thing fucking comes out. But hopefully, it will be here soon. It will be here this year.
You are 41.
I was going to say,
I'm 40.
One.
Johnny, what are you looking forward to, bud?
The sequel to Tusk.
Okay, just throwing it out there. If you
why not?
Grave with Plot by Josh Stifter is pretty fucking good. It reminded me a lot of Tusk. If you have a chance to watch it, it's fucking legit.
I will say, I really hope that that Smith comes out with Moose Jaws, because I mean he's done 2 of the trilogy. He may as well just finish the damn trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Nail Gun.
Ah, damn it!
See it so bad.
I don't know. We don't know when it's going to come out. I doubt it's going to come out this year. But
Next year.
Probably next year. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything by talking too much about it because we just, the script is out there and Eugene's doing his thing. That's Eugene is currently out there right now in a production meeting with the studio, and we'll see where that goes when he gets back. So, all right. Seems like we've got a little bit of clicking in the background. Is that just me?
No, there's it's one of those bugs from Mimic.
Oh, wonderful. That's it's the kid with the spoons.
I like it.
All right, cool. So
what do we have up first? Let's get into this.
Let's dive right into it.
We're talking about movies. We have a really good one up first. Alex, if you don't take this one, I will, because this is one of my favorite films.
Hey, you get off my Lawrence Fishburne, okay?
Whoa.
Anyways, we're talking about Event Horizon. Came out August 15th, 1997. This was written by Philip Eisner, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, and like I stated, starring Lawrence Fishburne, Catherine Quinlan, Sam Neill, Jolie Richardson, Jack Noseworthy, Richard T. Jones, Jason Isaac, and a slew of other people that don't make it out of the movie.
Spoiler alert.
I'm just doing, that's my thing tonight, spoiler alerts. But this movie was a rescue. I think it was 2047. A rescue crew goes out to save a ship that disappeared into a black hole and came back, and they find out this Event Horizon that they discovered orbiting around Neptune ended up being a project, essentially opened up a rift into out of our universe, and when the ship went over, it was possessed by a malevolent entity. And since Eugene isn't here at that point, shit gets real.
Yep.
As it usually does in these types of movies.
Yep.
Horror movies? No way.
So arguably, I think, in my opinion, one of the best from Paul Anderson. I love this movie.
That's not saying much though, because look at this.
You shut your whore mouth.
Sorry, not saying much.
But I mean, this film is influential. I mean, I absolutely love it. Stop. Just
Resident Evil garbage.
Don't even.
I did. I did.
I don't want to hear what you have to say, but I want to hear what our wonderful guests have to say about Paul Anderson's movie. About, I think, one of his most underrated films.
I think that's a fair statement. I think that the critics were pretty harsh on this film, like that jackass Robert Ebert. He pretty much rips the film apart, thinks it's shit. I thought it was really good. I mean, there were some fundamental things that don't make sense, like when they were talking about the adolescent way of explaining the fold in space by taking a piece of paper, like that perhaps everybody in the ship was in elementary school and you just want to show them how to fold time with a piece of paper, and they're like, oh wow, look at that, we're folding time. Beyond that though, I think it was badass. And my question is, so was it a gateway to hell or was it to a malevolent place? To me, it felt like hell.
I think that was the implication, because I mean, this was considered Hellraiser in space before Hellraiser in space.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Before Hellraiser in space.
What else do you guys think? I know that given what you're working on now, I know that there's inspiration there.
This is the best Paul W.S. Anderson movie, and to me, it's just from that timeline, it's a companion piece to Alex Proyas's super underrated film Dark City. Very similar visual styles. Both of those influenced me just as much as Proyas's film The Crow did, but just like two of those, I don't know, both those came out with like a year of each other. And it's just super freaking, just like almost the way that Tim Burton's Batman, when I first saw that, just blew me away with the style of it. Just, you can't even.
Yeah, there was a definite gothic undertone to the entire thing, which I think lent itself to.
That was a gothic horror. So we studied this film in world literature as a modern example of a gothic horror film.
Yeah. And it lends itself to the kind of like the religious undertones, because the film itself is full of religious iconography to kind of sell that I guess that dark gothic sensation. You like walk through like a dark cathedral like that, like the neck of the, the neck of the Event Horizon.
Did you watch the special features where they're talking about how they took I forget which film, but they no it was modeled after the Notre Dame. No, the ship was modeled after Notre Dame.
Doesn't it remind you of the black hole ship a little bit though?
It does. I do remember the black hole, and I think that's where he drew the inspiration. The writers drew the the inspiration for the film, but the look of the ship itself. They went and took a bunch of pictures of Notre Dame in France, and then said, "We're going to make this. What we're going to make the ship look like. It's supposed to look like this Gothic."
I love it, dude.
What about that machine in there? Didn't that sort of? I'm trying to think of the other movie that had a machine very similar to that around the same time frame. Like was it the Contact?
Sharon Stone, was it?
Yes, Sphere.
Was it Sphere?
Yeah, with who else was in that? Sharon Stone.
Oh, that was Sharon Stone, Sam Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, Peter Coyote, Queen Latifah,
Rain Man.
I've seriously not thought about fucking Sphere.
I don't think anybody that was in that film has thought about it since it came out.
Great effort was made to forget about that movie since it came out. But I definitely, Trey, anything that you take away from this movie, this kind of legendary flick?
Man, the set design is amazing in it. I watched it again the other day, and it just... I remember seeing it in theaters and being blown away by the way it looked. I was thrown off by the last 20 minutes of it when shit goes crazy. It's just like blood coming out everywhere. I thought, okay, it kind of took me out of it a bit, but rewatching it, not a 17-year-old kid rewatching it now, it's just kind of like, okay, it fits, it works. I kind of dig that, and it is scary. It doesn't really take you out of it unless you're some pompous 17-year-old piece of shit. So yeah, I like it a lot now.
Yeah, like Trey and I had this conversation one time whenever it was like, it's kind of like what they did with Danny Boyle's Film Sunshine, which is a fucking masterpiece.
It's a great movie.
And then the studio went and fucked with it and tried to make the last little bit into like a weird little slasher movie because that was what was cool, and they recut everything. Similar thing with this film. The studio went in there and tweaked it. I want to see the fucking director's cut, man.
Absolutely.
Everybody does.
Well, that doesn't exist. That's what I was going to say.
Well, it's on VHS, isn't it?
Well, Paramount, no. Because, see, Paramount...
didn't one of the producers have it?
Paramount was freaking out because Titanic was running behind. So they rushed Event Horizon, made him release half of the movie he shot, and then all that footage is gone.
Yeah.
Whatever they...
I remember when Scream Factory was putting together their special edition they actually reached out to fans and said, hey, if you've got anything on this, they even pushed the date back, if I remember right, looking for anything on it, and I guess nobody came forward.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, Sunshine and Event Horizon, just the what ifs of both of those films. As far as sci-fi horror goes.
Now they say that footage doesn't exist. They say that the Paul Anderson cut does not exist anymore. I actually don't believe that.
I don't think the Paul Anderson cut ever actually exists. If I remember correctly, his cut didn't make it past the editing room.
No,
maybe not.
I don't know.
Surely we would have it after 20 years.
Yes. I mean, there's no way we wouldn't have it. There's too much demand for it. 20-year anniversary of that sucker was what? 2014? Yeah. It would have been out. They would have had it.
But look at all the footage that was missing from Friday the 13th Part 2 that resurfaced on a VHS tape in somebody's garage recently. So, I mean, there's a possibility.
True. You never know. I was saying, even cutting room footage does not just vanish. Now, people, industries people don't just throw that stuff away. Now, especially not people who are professional.
No, they steal it.
It's going to wind up somewhere, and then eventually it's going to come out, and some fan who just loves this movie beyond all it's going to eventually cut something together that's going to restore that footage, or it's going to put it back in. It's probably going to look like shit, and then the studio is going to be forced to do something. I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that the footage is still out there. It's the same situation with Knights of Badassdom, which is a movie that I was a super huge fan of. I was way looking forward to it. And then what E1 Entertainment did to that film just absolutely pissed me the fuck off, because that was not Lynch's movie. That was not what Joe Lynch had intended. And Kurt Russell said that he saw the original cut of that movie and said it was amazing. And he saw it at a private screening at Joe's house. And then all of a sudden we get this piece of shit. It was like, what the fuck? And then he comes out and says, yeah, like E1, they like bought the movie and they just hacked it to absolute shit, made it for the lowest common denominator and put that fucker out there. I had no say. I was like, what the fuck? So hopefully eventually we will get a director's cut of Knights of Badassdom in the movie that was supposed to be made. It's the same situation. I mean, this is what it comes down to. And these are...
Well, isn't part of the problem with the film that there was footage that just wasn't filmed? Like he wasn't able to film a quarter of what he wanted to tell the story.
That's interesting.
I've heard stuff. There, yes, he did say in an interview, and I can't remember what year it was who it was with. I do remember reading that there were things that he wanted in the script that he wasn't able to film, but he was able to work around that. And like Sarcasm says in the live chat, the rumor is that there was a VHS of the 130-minute run, but Paul and Landis never got together to see what they might be able to do with it. So I don't know. There's rumors. So I hope that something comes out of it. But
yeah, because there are definitely some things that didn't fit well within the story. It seemed to be a slow burn at first, and then it just fucking ramped up. Like it went from 0 to 100 like that. And there's a lot of context that was missing.
That's studio influence. You saw this like Jason said. You saw the same thing in fucking Sunshine, and you said the same thing in Knights of Badassdom, and a number of other films, obviously that we love. Where so you can see, you can feel where it went from director to studio. It's like, oh, it went from the director's vision to we're making this for the this is the money grab. This is the formulaic bullshit that every studio wants to put out there to try and make sure they make some money back on this thing.
It was fucking vision by committee instead of the vision of the filmmaker, and it's so annoying, dude.
I think that's why I think horror films should be independent film just as a rule, because I mean Hollywood is going to make the money on their rom-coms and their bullshit action films and whatnot, but whenever they try and go and interfering with horror, we get a lot of mistakes and missteps. So I think that this genre specifically should be independently run, period. I know the money isn't there at times and whatnot, but
fuck
it's
Hollywood.
It would be seriously, it would be great to be able to get, guys like you to be able to have the control over your film. You know what I mean? To say, hey, what do you need? I need 500,000. Here's 500,000. Go make a film. And not have to worry about Paramount saying, nah, you don't have enough teddy bears.
Well, it sucks that Paramount took that road, because in the beginning of Hollywood, Paramount was the studio that would let directors have a vision, and they would put the films that they made out there, whereas the bigger studios like MGM, it was machine.
Right.
Paramount shit the bed somewhere along the way when Hollywood became about money and not.
Well, they lost a lot of money, Paramount did, so they had to turn around and figure out a way to, refill the coffers, and hey, we can do rom-coms too, and formulaic bullshit that everybody else is doing to make money.
Yeah, I think they overcorrected in some places, to be perfectly honest. That's one thing that's big. I mean, one of the big things I want to talk about. I arguably think that this movie is what was ahead of its time. A lot of people consider it just to be Hellraiser in space, but I think that given Paul's love for the genre, his love for this kind of dark gothic H.P. Lovecraft inspired sci-fi horror, I think he had something really amazing going on. Studio interference aside, but this is one of the massive barriers that we deal with in horror. We have a lot of filmmakers who have been behind the camera in this group right now, and we've all done now. I myself have never dealt directly with a major studio. Everything I've done is indie. I'm pretty much the George Romero route. I do my own shit. I do it on my own timetable, and I write it, I direct it, I do the thing. And like George Romero dealt with the studio one time with Monkey Shines and was like, I'm never doing this fucking again, and went back to doing indies for the rest of his life. So thankfully for that. But these are the fucking barriers. And is there? I mean, I want to know about your guys' experience. Is there points where you've had to draw the lines? Because some of these barriers, they're barriers to making great horror films.
Yeah, I've been lucky so far. I haven't really had to deal with the studio system as much because I've been coming that route. Like you said, this is my feature debut, but like all my shorts and everything, I've always been the jack of all trades. I write, direct, produce. I do my own cinematography. You know, I do my sound editing. I do everything. I always like that. Robert Rodriguez is one of my biggest influences. I read Rebel Without a Crew, you know, when I was like 17 or 18, and I was like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my fucking life. And I also want to do it that way, where I do every aspect. And some people may be like, okay, you're overstretching yourself and everything too, but it's just like to tweak your vision just that much to get it exactly the way you want it. It helps to, even just like Fincher said too. Fincher always said, even though he primarily directs now, but he started out doing a little bit of everything, so he knew everybody's role. So basically, whenever somebody said, "Hey, you can't do that," he's like, "Of course you fucking can. I've done it. Let me tell you," and explain it in detail. That's something that I always like, that idea of knowing what all the different roles are, so you can go back and say, "I know how we can fix this. Let's do it." You know?
Definitely.
I'd just like to comment, Jason, on your setup you got going on, your lighting, your shirt, the way you're sitting, the way your name lines up on the screen. You look like you should have like a name tag from National Geographic on the bottom in the middle of an interview. It's like the perfect lighting setup for like an interview setting. It's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're at the right angle. You're at the.
That's 7200. I mean, I do I have DP'd a few things, so I'm always like thinking about lighting. And
No, it's
by
perfect.
the way, anybody notice Monster Squad? One of my favorite movies. Also.
Hell yeah, Eric, what were your thoughts on that? On dealing with what Jason was talking about?
I think that I completely agree with the whole learning more of the aspects, if not all the aspects of filmmaking, so that way you can at least have a solution when there are problems and know what you're talking about versus relying on someone else. And, you know, as far as, you know, I haven't gotten into I did have some experience actually in the Hollywood world doing soundtracks, Media Ventures Studios. This is a while ago at Hans Zimmer's studio. It was Frog Entertainment, Jeff Rona, and got to watch just by doing soundtrack work there. And I started off there, you know, Who Wants a Cup of Coffee? And then I got to start doing some writing and stuff like that. But I got to see that whole bullshit scenario go on. You're in the room, you've got the movie on the screen, you got your timing signature there, and you're just trying to like write music to a film, and you've got like 9 other jack-offs stopping in and telling you how to fucking write music and what needs to happen here and could you get this feeling? What we're really looking for is our head up our ass.
Oh, that's the worst when you get non-musicians trying to tell you, hey, can you make it happier? What the fuck does that
I didn't
mean?
like it at all, you know. So I was like, you know, fuck this. I had a successful industrial band going on that I left on a hiatus to go do this, and I'm like, get me the fuck back to Austin, Texas. Get me the fuck out of here. Fuck you. So yeah, I'm not into it. I like to stay independent, and like David Lynch said, you know, you don't ever want to give up control. So if you can make a movie and contractually not give up control, like the new run of Twin Peaks, Showtime tried to take control from David Lynch, and he said, fuck it, I'm not doing the damn thing. Then they renegotiated, he got control, hence it got done. So I think you need a little bit of David Lynch clout to get that in the beginning. You know, keep doing your thing like we're doing until they have no choice but to not ignore us.
And that's the good thing about working with a crew like this, you know, like the 4 of us right now, is we know each other well enough that we're not going to fuck each other over, and we're not going to let somebody else do that to us. So we're able to do what we want to do and how we want to do it. So
yeah, totally.
Definitely. Chance?
I've only ever worked with the major studios as a hired actor. So I went in and did my thing. I worked for Warner Brothers for 3 years on Dallas. But I never really had to create anything for a studio. That was a barrier, but I've always adopted the Robert Downey Jr. motto, where you just listen, smile, agree, and then do whatever the fuck you were going to do anyway. So that's when I get there, that's what I will hopefully do.
Awesome. There was a similar thing, and we had a couple of guests on, Richard Oakes and Neil Ward, who both co-directed the film Hosts that came out last year, and an absolute stunning little horror film, and just a blast to watch. I hope you guys get an opportunity to see it. But it was the same thing for them, completely independently produced, self-produced, and I think Adam dealt with the camera and the tech, and Richard dealt with the actors. And so but they have a shorthand between themselves, and they trust each other's voices when they're trying to come to the same vision. And that's one of the big things. You don't have that I've seen just firsthand. I've never had to deal with it myself, but I've watched others deal with it. That line of demarcation between those making the movie and those up there, I guess up there in the box seats looking down on everything being made. And you always call them the number crunchers, the bean counters, whatever, but the people who are not directly involved and they don't share that same vision. And there is a kind of lack of trust or loss of trust because they're not there in the trench every single day, working with the talent, working with the crew, working with the tech, trying to make this thing happen in the way it's supposed to be happen, to make sure you respect the writer, make sure you respect everybody's time, get the schedule going. Directing is an absolute bitch. I love doing it, but I only do it very so often. So, but yeah, I think there is a lack of it. I think that's where that breakdown comes down, is you've got people who have one vision, they want to make money, people who have one vision, they want to make art, and putting them together is like oil and fucking water.
It doesn't always add up. I mean, I guess not to defend them, but like, yeah, I guess when there's all this money on the line and it's all risk and you've got all these people that are expecting ROI and so forth, and you're trying to run a business, I guess I get it. But if you didn't want to be in the horror film business, don't try to make fucking horror films.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Go make rom-coms, like you said.
Yep.
Well, directors and actors and creators have more of a pulse on the audience than anyone in the studio office. So they should listen to them above anyone else. Oh. Was that a werewolf?
Yeah. He was in London.
Johnny's werewolves.
My werewolves.
That's a beast out of the cage a little too soon.
Well, definitely. I mean, these are things we deal with, and it's awesome seeing you guys make it work on the indie level. And it just seems that I don't want to knock studio films. A lot of them I love. Obviously, like a movie we talked about, Antlers is a studio movie. It's coming out. And there are directors that we love, I think, can retain that control. They have that kind of Lynchian power that they can flex. Guillermo del Toro, I think, being one of them. No one's going to stand in Del Toro's way. No one's going to say Del Toro can't make a movie look the way he wants it to look. But when we're as indie producers, like, you know, stuff like you guys, like the Red River Expressway Killer, we do have that freedom. And I think I'm always going to be indie. I don't think I'm ever going to do anything major, just because it's become so unattractive lately. And when this is a job, you want it to be fun, you know. And I see so many people deal with it. Oh, I'm making a big studio movie. This is fucking fantastic. Got a huge budget and all this shit, and they come out and just are exhausted and just dealing with the fucking politics and all the barriers that they have to just, you know, force themselves through. I don't want to come out feeling like Duncan Jones, who's a huge fan of Warcraft, and then coming out feeling like he was dying from Death of a Thousand Cuts trying to get that movie done. That sounds terrible. I want to be like Duncan Jones after Moon.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, dude. Oh, God, Moon.
All right. Well, we've gone over this movie and how great it was, because it was a fantastic film. And if you haven't seen it, again, it's called Event Horizon. And Lawrence Fishburne has always been one of my favorite in any genre. And he definitely did a great job in this film. But we've talked about it previously. A director's cut of this film would be fantastic. Is that something that the audience would like to see? Is that something you guys would like to see? I'd sit down and watch that.
No way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I'd buy that for $1. I'd fucking take it right now.
You just sit there. Make it like 4 hours long too. Like just
6 out of 7 filmmakers agree. Director's cut of Event Horizon.
Who's the one who doesn't agree?
That'd be you.
Oh my God, we got to get you a book on sarcasm. Jesus Christ.
So did anybody else read Anderson's interview where he was talking about he had just seen Scorsese's latest film and said, like, hey, well, since the footage is lost, what if we were to go out and get these actors and we could film these scenes again and de-age them? I thought it was a joke.
They would have to de-weigh Lawrence Fishburne.
A little bit.
Bring it back now, yo.
Yeah.
No. No, let's not do. Yeah, let's not do that. If that's what it takes to get a director's cut, you just might just remake it with a new cast. Definitely.
Right. Somebody's ass in the street again. That was
No, because Johnny, don't put that evil out there, because if they do remake it, they'll end up casting Michael B. Jordan in Lawrence Fishburne's role, and that's just going to piss you off.
I'm very angry.
Let's not do that. Jesus.
All right, definitely.
They could put Michael B. Jordan in what's his name's role when he gets blown away from the ship like 4 fucking times. Like, what's going to happen to this character again? I think he's going to get blown away. Yeah.
What's that new Michael B. Jordan film that's on right now that sucks?
I don't know.
It's like on
Michael B.
Netflix
Jordan
right
No,
now.
I can't remember it's not the Splinter Cell one.
That'll be the Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. That was one. But
That
there's
was awful.
It was on for like 5 minutes, and I
It
was
looks
like, I already
terrible.
hate this. Yeah.
I don't know why people hire Michael B. Not a very good actor.
It's fucked up because he was good as Killmonger.
No, he wasn't. It sounded like he was reading a fucking cereal box.
What about Creed?
I thought he was good in Creed.
Yeah, but he didn't have very many lines. It's not hard to, be a muscly guy and throw punches. I mean, come on, you don't actually have to act for that.
Well, he was in a remake of Space Jam, which is an assault.
Well, definitely out there in the live chat, let us know in the comments. Do you want a director's cut of Event Horizon? Do you think it's possible? Do you think that someone should make one? Or do you think, we just leave it where it is? It's good where it's at. We'll just accept what we've got and move on from there. Let us know in the comments below, or at weekinhorror@gmail.com.
Speaking of moving on, Johnny, what do we got next?
I don't know. Let's ask JL.
Yes, we do have another movie to talk about, and this one I've been.
Damn it! No, you were supposed to take this one, Johnny. Come on.
No, he doesn't take this one. I take this one because I'm the big fan of this franchise.
That's fair.
Yes, and it's a perfect week to talk about this one because this is released August 15th, 2003. We have Freddy versus Jason, the Titanic fight that we were all waiting a long time for.
This is not the movie we wanted.
So directed by Gag Ronnie Yu, and written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, starring Monica Keener, Kelly Rowland,
Nobody cares.
Jason Ritter, Chris Marquette, Lachlan Monroe, and Robert Englund, and oh god, it just absolutely kills me to say it. Ken Kersinger as Jason. Robert Englund obviously is Freddy.
Let's not shit on Ken Kersinger. It's not his fault they hired him, okay?
Anyway, the film centers upon Freddy Krueger trying to make it back from hell using a resurrected Jason, to scare the kids on Elm Street, to basically make them afraid of Freddy again, so he gets power enough to return, and then of course eventually the two end up clashing and get into a big giant brawl, which is like, I don't even know how to fucking describe it. Like Jason's walking around like Frankenstein, and Freddy knows fucking Tybo all of a sudden. I don't know, but they throw down, and it's exactly it is not what you would expect. It's absolutely not the movie that we deserved. So, nonetheless, there's still parts of the movie that I love, that I enjoy, but damn.
The opening credits and the ending credits, best part of the film. That's where they just cut all the bullshit in between.
I definitely want to get your guys' take, because this movie was something as horror fans we all looked forward to. This was supposed to be a big hitter, and then what we got, holy fuck.
Well, they had set it up, right? So they had set it up the right way, okay? And Jason goes to hell, right? At the end of the film, they have Freddy Krueger coming out, taking his face mask and all that stuff, and they also planted seeds of the Ash versus Evil Dead with the Necronomicon in there. Everything was set.
Necronomicon.
The Book of the Dead, you fucker.
All right. Okay.
Well, they had set it all up, right? Everything was set up. It was great. And then they said, hey, let's not make that movie. And instead, we're going to make Rock'em Sock'em Robots, except with Freddy versus Jason.
Typical early 2000s fucking horror movie thinking.
Yes.
Yeah,
right. Oh, and by the way, let's hire all the CW actors that couldn't make it on the CW.
And let me just a show of hands. Who all saw this in theaters?
No.
I remember leaving.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough to see this in theaters.
I remember leaving school. I remember I was at film school, and we got out at 3:00. And the day this released, we're all a group of us were like, we've got to go see this. All of us, we jumped in the cars, we ran to the theater, we saw the Boom Next showing. God, what the fuck? And I said I was in theater, I enjoyed it, and of course, once you start thinking about it, it's just terrible. And once you start learning the things that went on behind it, just absolutely awful. You guys have any thoughts from you guys on that? Just
okay. So I remember seeing it in theaters, and every time I saw it, I was fucked up when I went and saw it. Like, I had a lot to drink, so I was just, it's like, yeah, they're fighting, they're doing shit, it's great. And every time after that I watched it, until actually a couple days ago, I think I wasn't sober, so I really enjoyed it. I watched it the other day, and I'm like, okay, this is 20 years later. This is awful. Being sober doesn't help with it, and I kind of think that if I'm going to watch it ever again, I need to not be sober. But it felt like watching it this last time that they essentially had like, hey, we've got these fight scenes that we're going to choreograph between the two of them. We know how that's going to go. So now how are we going to put it together? And it almost felt like they made it up on the spot. And then there's a point where they reiterate exactly what they just told you again at a sit around with the table because they think the audience is super stupid. And
well, did you see the actors in this film?
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's awful. You need to be in the right state of mind, which is not.
There was no good state of mind. I was 13 when this came out. I watched this when I was 13 years old, and I laughed the whole fucking time because it was terrible.
Like the remake of Chainsaw, dude. It was the same fucking year. I actually went and saw that in theaters. I just remember walking out of it being so fucking disappointed. Same thing, casting with CW fucking actors. And it's just like, or WB at the time actor back at the
yeah.
But I think we can arguably say the Texas Chainsaw remake, the Texas remake was better than Freddy vs. Jason.
But that's like saying
that disappointment.
At least Leatherface in that one looked fucking scary.
But
that
again,
was a scary looking motherfucker. So.
That's like saying petting puppy dogs is better than getting kicked in the face with a fucking golf shoe. I mean, come on.
Well said.
It depends on if you're drunk or not.
The bar wasn't quite clear.
There was no bar.
The athlete could have just stepped over that fucker.
Didn't even have to put any effort in, just kind of walking in there he goes. No, it was god awful. The whole thing was stupid. The original way that they were, going to bring us all in, bringing in Ash, and then of course a cameo with Pinhead at the end. The script that was written that we didn't get to see because of fucking Dimension. Dimension's fucking everything up for everybody. I blame Dimension for this film, even though they didn't make it, but it's their fault we didn't get the movie we wanted. So fuck Dimension.
Weinstein again.
Yep.
Wait. Hang on a second. Are you talking about the Dimension mentality?
No. It was Dimension that wouldn't allow Pinhead to be a part of this film. They said no, we're not going to do it.
Okay.
We're not going to share rights for that stuff. So then they had to go back. Well, there goes that that idea.
Oh, I mean, but it's not just that, but it's also, I mean, you're also talking about bringing in Pinhead, also bringing in Ash, which would mean Bruce Campbell. That bringing in that, so it's literally 4 different universes trying to pack them into one movie. And there's going to be. I mean, you're just inviting politics to come in and have a giant problem with that one. We did there. There is the comic version of it, which I think is better. Obviously, better than the movie that we got. But this predates the MCU. I mean, it's not like that. Like you're trying to do big, giant, universe combining movies like this was a thing. Before Marvel, so we kicked it off with Iron Man. Now everybody's, and now everything's got to be a cinematic universe.
Right.
Maybe it was just we got it too early. I don't know.
But it worked for Marvel.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess I should apologize for me and Trey because we saw it in theaters and it made a fortune for the studio. So, and Event Horizon didn't, and it's a horrible movie, and Event Horizon is not. But it was still a massive hit because of drunks like us that
simply because of Jason.
Because of what it was, and that's why everybody went, because it was supposed to be a lot better than it was. Could you imagine having 2 franchises so successful come to this point. Like, that would just be a kick in the nuts for anybody involved in this movie.
Yeah, and this had been in the works for, I think, 15 years before it came out.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for so long.
I think they've been talking about it since 8, which was 1988.
So longer than that.
So they've been talking about potentially combining the franchise and having the two of them face off.
Right.
I feel like it would have been better in 1988 if they would have.
And it was the delay. It was the delay, which is what ended up giving us Jason X. And I'm sorry for all of its goofiness. Jason X did not take itself seriously. That movie was better than Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason was trying to have like this is supposed to be this is the Titanic buildup. This is the big fight we've all been waiting for. This is serious. It's like fuck no. Yeah, the film took itself too goddamn seriously. The director didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Ronnie Yu wasn't familiar with either one of the fucking icons. Wasn't familiar with either franchise.
He was a kung fu film.
Yeah, brought in from overseas. And I'm not against giving directors work, but make sure the director fucking knows what he's dealing with. He walks in and goes, okay, I got a dream guy and I got a big guy who can't be killed, and I'm going to put them. No, dude, you've got 20 fucking years of franchise on both sides of these guys, characters that are beloved and actors who have played them who are beloved, and you're not. And then he goes in there and just fucks it up. I mean, when he describes to Ken Kersinger when Ken Kersinger didn't really understand it because Ken Kersinger wasn't a big follower of either franchise, and so he's trying to understand Jason. Ronnie, you described him. He was like, yeah, he's kind of like Frankenstein. That's how he described Jason needed to be played to Ken, and Ken's like, okay, I'll play like. So he did. So for all Ken's a talented guy, and that's why we get these stilted like that we got in that movie, not the fucking amazing Kane Hodder or even C.J. Graham, who both did an amazing job in 6 and 7, 8, 9, and 10. So
7. Oh god, he's so good.
He's amazing. How is this not a thing? But fuck it. I mean, Ronnie was like, yeah, I want him to be so much bigger. I want him to be big. And then, of course, when the fans backlash, Ronnie blames New Line blames Kane blames everybody, and it's just fucking insane. So
I don't know, guys. I'm kind of feeling like we're being hard on this movie. I mean, you've got to go with me on this. You've got to.
Okay.
That this film is every bit as good of a film as King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yep. True story.
And Alien versus Predator. Requiem.
Yeah.
Requiem.
Yeah.
The never made Terminator.
This is the Kadako versus Sayako of American cinema.
You're not wrong.
The Ring versus the Grudge, the movie no one asked for.
Nobody asked for. It would have been better had they had a scene where Jason and Freddy would like walk up to each other like, why are we here?
Not a bad edit.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You want to grab a beer?
I think it was Kelly Rowland's last movie.
I think so. Yeah.
It was their only movie, wasn't it?
I hope.
Me too. That was the only good part about it, though. They killed Destiny's Child.
I remember thinking it was cool when they were hitting the oxygen tanks and they were flying through the air, because my grandparents always warned me that would happen, but
I've seen it happen.
I never had. But then when they did it in that movie, I thought, oh, maybe that is true.
Wasn't an oxygen tank, it was a CO2 tank.
I will say this, and I know that this movie is, by comparison to other films, the movie is crap. It absolutely is. But the movie does have its moments. I like that Robert Englund brought everything to Freddy. He did the best he absolutely could with what he got, and that was a Freddy role. That was him. So it wasn't like he altered it up. He didn't come in looking bored. He came in professional, and he laid it down for the fans, because Robert Englund will not let the fans down. That's what that's about. And it was a bummer, that he didn't get to throw down with Kane. I thought that was amazing, considering before they went into this, they asked Kane if he said, they didn't even ask him. They said, we're going to put you in this. You're going to do this. And he was like, okay, fantastic, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden they got delayed. He did Jason X, and they said, no, we're not going with you. And then they cast Ken Kersinger, and he was like, what the fuck? There's an interview that Kane recently did where he talked about that, about the whole process and the aftermath, and it was just really depressing, the shit that he went through. But there were good
we wouldn't have gotten Hatchet,
and we wouldn't have gotten the Hatchet series. This is true. So, there are things that I enjoy.
That came out of this.
There's things I enjoy. Like I said, I enjoyed Robert Englund's performance. I enjoyed some of the kills. The glow stick dude through the back and then sling him like 100 fucking yards. That shit made me laugh my fucking ass off when I saw that. At least it has some moments. It does have, and of course that moment when she grabs Freddy, pulls him into reality, and then like the music is like the dun dun dun. I was like, okay, now that was a good moment. That was kind of like, fuck yes, we're finally here. Fuck all that shit, all that bullshit. We don't need all that exposition. We just want this. So,
I have one question. I have a question. So in this film, we find out what Jason's afraid of, right?
They posit that Jason's afraid of water. Yeah.
Why the fuck does he live at Camp Crystal Lake then?
Oh, fucking no! And then, like, the end of the deal, like, he's afraid of water, but at the end of the day, he comes walking out of the water with, I don't understand it.
Face his fears, man. It was a story of overcoming
fears. It's a feel-good story of a little boy who grew up to become a man. Right.
What the fuck
it was a rom-com we all didn't know we were getting. That's
when the fuck did Jason Voorhees become a sympathetic character? Fuck no. That was the problem with the remake in 2009. Was trying to make Jason Voorhees a sympathetic character.
Sake, that's the thing they were doing in all remakes. They're trying to give these guys backstories. This is why I hated Rob Zombie's Halloween. I don't need a backstory. I don't need that. Can I just get?
But the stuff with what Rob Zombie did made sense.
No, it was cheap. It was easy.
But it didn't try to make Michael Myers a sympathetic character. But fucking 2009 Friday the 13th, which really pissed me off, and Freddy vs. Jason tried to make a sympathetic character out of him, out of Jason Voorhees. And no, you cannot take characters and turn them into sympathetic characters. You've never seen Freddy Krueger ever turned into a sympathetic character. In fact, every movie
they tried with the remake. They tried to make it ambiguous at least a little bit. They tried to make it ambiguous.
They hinted at the ambiguity, yes. Okay, but then it was worse. And then because in every single Englund film, every time they added something into it, he got progressively worse. It's like, what the fuck?
Not only did I kill little girls and children, but I also had one of my own that I fucked up. Aha. Definitely. You just ramped that shit up. Did not make
don't ever give a child killer a child. Like, what the fuck kind of story is that?
But, I mean, definitely the film, what this film could have been, and it obviously breaks our heart because the original idea was going to be like Freddy versus Jason versus Ash versus, or Freddy versus Jason versus Ash with a Pinhead cameo at the end.
Right.
Have any of you, Eric, Trey, a chance? I see that we lost Jason briefly. Oh, I think he might be back. There he is.
Now he used to be next to Jack and
yeah, you switched places. Did anybody? I don't know if you guys are big comic readers. Did any of you guys get a chance to read the comic? That big crossover that they did.
Yes, actually.
So
it's pretty sweet.
Okay. So Jason did. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, in essence, it's Freddy uses the Necronomicon to resurrect Jason. And inadvertently, obviously, the Deadites show up, and the Kandarian demon. And of course, when there's Deadites, obviously Ash shows up. Starts kicking ass like that. Freddy's involved. Jason's there. He's because he's reawakened. Shit obviously hits the fucking fan. I don't want to spoil it. You can check it out. It's I know you can find it free online somewhere. And then at the end is the cameo Pinhead shows up because Pinhead is involved in this shit as well. So it would have been absolutely fucking amazing. I thought it would have been great. But obviously, making a movie version of this would have been rough. But still, the biggest letdown: no Kane Hodder. That was a failure, and hiring a director that had no fucking clue what he was doing. Imagine what could have been.
He did Bride of Chucky, though.
Imagine what could have been. Imagine what could have been.
Isn't there like a JL? Isn't there some sort of call to action that we should be doing to get out of this horrible film?
It's still a guilty pleasure. It still is a guilty pleasure of mine. But let us know. And I know this is probably going to be a unanimous answer across the board. Obviously, I mean, we're asking: would Kane Hodder have been a better choice? But everybody's entitled to their opinion. Some people might have loved Ken Krasinger in this role. They might have loved his take on Jason. I don't think anybody in this panel will agree, but nonetheless, let us know in the comments. Should Kane Hodder have been in this movie? Did Kane Hodder get screwed over? Or are you cool with Ken Kersinger and you're happy with what they put out? Let us know in the comments below or hit us up weekinhorror@gmail.com.
I think the answers go yes, yes, and God no.
All right then, Johnny, you got our next one. I know you're looking forward to talk about this one.
I do. This is the only Jennifer Lopez film I actually like. In 2000, we saw a movie called The Cell, a science fiction psychological horror film directed by Tarsem Singh. It was his directional debut, starring Jennifer Lopez, Vince Vaughn, and Vincent D'Onofrio. That guy was amazing in this movie. So basically, you've got a child psychologist, Jennifer Lopez, doing virtual reality experiments in coma patients, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. And they have to find this serial killer. Vince Vaughn steps away from the typecast roles that I don't think he was typecast at the time, but this is one of the roles that he wasn't the goofy, aloof, best bud to schnoz man, playing a detective trying to find a serial killer who wasn't wearing a buckskin suit. So there we go. I actually really enjoy this film because I like the Salvador Dali inspired visuals. And I like the way that it's used as a real element of character development and horror. And I like the fact that, I don't hate Jennifer Lopez in this film. Like I do everything else she does.
Every single one?
Everything else she does is just terrible.
That's fair.
I just want to throw my piece in because there's not much to it, and then I'll let the others take over. But speaking of visuals, I only saw this film one time. It was in the theaters, and I was on 2 hits of acid.
So it was fantastic.
The fucking world went upside down. I was tripping so hard. I was just like, I'm swimming in it. And I remember J-Lo's face, though, was kind of this sort of haunting thing where I almost kind of wanted to look away from the screen every time she came on screen. There was something about her eyes, and she was like talking to my inner soul or something. And I don't know if it's a good movie, but it sure tripped me out. That's all I've got.
Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, I remember like watching it and just thinking, hey, you know what? This looks like pretty much every 9 Inch Nails video from like 1994 until probably the week before the film came out. It's like you look at it and it's very perfect drug at some points, especially with the vulture in the background and the coming out of the water, kind of like Reznor does in that video. And it just it seems like it's very, very much inspired visually by Mark Romanek's type stuff that he would do for 9 Inch Nails. So, which is great. It's awesome. And the sound design in that film is also incredible.
Yes, it is.
When they're inside of his head and it just, everything's echoing, it's amplified, and it really gets to you. It sets you right into where they're at. I love it. It's great.
I agree. I think it might be Silence of the Lamb ripoff, but I think it's great. It looks good. And I'm sorry, but it's Jennifer Lopez at her best. I mean, Hustlers and that are her 2 best performances. She's rom-com, but she's somewhere in there, she's got the talent. And I think she's good in The Cell. I believed her.
I think
Silence of the Lambs Silence of the Lambs and Dreamscape. Combination of the 2.
Dreamscape. That's what I was just trying to remember. That was a cool movie.
Yeah, definitely. Loved The Cell when it came out. It's one of those films that was super ahead of its time. If it would have came out 20 years later, I think it would have done a whole lot better critically. It's just super, like I said, I was super into surrealism and Dali. I actually have a melting Dali clock tattoo on my leg. I was really, really drunk when I got it. The whole idea was I was going to get the whole disintegration of the memory tattooed on my body, but I was too drunk and got it on the one spot that I didn't have enough skin to make the whole painting. Anyway, side note ahead, D'Onofrio's performance is freaking like transcendental. It's just amazing, especially when he's the king. That shit haunted my fucking dreams when I was in high school, bro. When he comes up and he's got his hair done in a horn, he comes down and he's got the rings on his back with all the the sheets, the velvet sheets,
with the sheets that are wrapped around the entire
when he looked like Billy Corgan. Yeah, he looks just like Billy Corgan in every Smashing Pumpkins
tonight.
Yeah, dude, but pick on that one just came down. But yeah, D'Onofrio is just he always brings it 150% every time.
Yes.
Like I've never been disappointed with him. Like,
He's one of the most underrated actors. He does not get the appreciation that he deserves for the performances that he puts out.
One thing I really, really loved, and one thing that always gets my attention is when actors play against type. I think it's absolutely stunning. I mean, it gives them the opportunity to flourish and gives us an opportunity to see them in a way that we don't normally get to. And I think it always produces the best results.
You're not kidding either with like J-Lo, like you said, Johnny, that is seriously, it was one of her best performances, and it sucks that she didn't really do anything more along this line.
Yeah.
And it's not, because it's technically, it's horror, but it's also like the way that they went into this, like you were talking about, if this was 20 years later, they would have been able to go so much farther just because we have this kind of technology now, that it would make more sense. But like the way that they had, they played this, okay, we're hunting for a serial killer, but we're doing it in the mind, or we're hunting for the victim to save this victim, but we're doing it in the mind of the person. So they've got to go through, and the psychological horror part of the whole thing was super cool. And to see J-Lo do something like that, she was better, like you said, better than that. She was better than Halle Berry would have been in that role for sure. So like, they kind of have like a similar type, but it's just watching these people that you normally see in rom-coms play this like dark side, and you get that, they can look into your soul. It's really cool to see that kind of.
That's what's weird about The Cell is it is one of her best, and no one remembers her in this movie. I mean, we do, but no one ever mentions The Cell when they mention Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
And I don't know how her career is like defined by those Made in Manhattan movies of the early 2000s. Whenever this one is right there,
because that's what it is. Is people like these feel good stories. Nobody remembers. Well, okay, I won't say no one remembers Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs, but when you think about Jodie Foster, they think about The Accused and some of that. So some of the other breakout appearances. For some reason, if you're you put a good performance in a scary movie, nobody really gives a shit.
I always say that acting in horror films is the biggest snubs that they ever do at the Oscars.
Yep.
Because they want the drama, but horror gives you every element of drama.
Mm-hmm.
And they would rather you be playing.
Right. Take a look at It Chapter 2 with Bill Hader.
Yeah.
My God. You want to talk about a fantastic performance that got completely overlooked.
Yes.
Go
ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yes.
Toni Collette, and anything she does gets overlooked, but
And it was interesting that you mentioned that, Alex, because while the movie wasn't like one of the top ones like that, Halle Berry was amazing in Gothica.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Absolutely.
Good actress.
She was good in Monsters Balls too. Monsters Ball.
Unnecessary.
It's hard to watch her. Go ahead.
One thing I could tell definitely this film had influence on was Brian Fuller's just freaking amazing reimagining with Hannibal. Like Hannibal, I'm a huge fan of that TV show. Like they did just an amazing job on it. It's one of the few, like I'd say, remakes that actually did really good and did its own thing. But you can definitely tell like influence is just the psychological horror style of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Trey, before he comes back, I need you to duck down a little bit and move a little to your right. Duck down a little more. A little more. Little more.
Oh,
somebody catch a screenshot.
I see what you're doing.
JL just saw it.
I was looking at it like, what is he doing? Oh, he's motorboating Elvira. Yeah.
What was that one?
I'm really glad my wife's not up here. Yeah.
Where he's like, all right, go up. Nope, go back down. It was in
it was
Clear Emotional.
Yeah.
Go up,
down,
down,
up,
down,
down,
down, up, down. Oh, that's a nice
necklace.
necklace.
I see what
Did
you're
you
doing.
Just give that to you? Yes, we are completely professional here on Week in Horror. We deliver a professional show for you horror fans. We give you only the best.
Look, if we didn't have the laughs, what else would we have?
Right. Well, I definitely enjoyed this one. Obviously, surrealistic horror is hit or miss.
It's very tough.
Yeah, and that's a tough nut to crack. And I think this movie is absolutely stunning. It blew my mind when I saw it. It's easily in my top 15, just from the visual feast alone. And not to mention, like I said before, I love watching actors go against type. Vincent D'Onofrio was, off the hook. Sorry,
what you did there.
Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn was great.
Love Vince Vaughn.
But see, this was before Vince Vaughn started getting typecast. Because if you look at the movies that came out around this time, he was in that Joey Lauren Adams movie. What was it? It was he had a kid. His wife left him, and he was out in some Podunkville. It was kind of a drama, straight role type. He also had done Psycho. Yeah. So this was before, before he really got into that. He, of course, he did. What's it called with? I'm just drawing. Yeah, the Swingers.
Swingers with Jon Favreau
and whatnot.
And Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers was after though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he had comedic chops, but Wedding Crashers is what solidified him into that.
That's what really put him into that, because then he had Dodgeball, Wedding Crashers. Of course, there was the other one he did with the Google one that he did with Schnozman.
Owen Wilson, what the fuck?
Schnozman.
I said it right the first time. Schnozman.
Did you guys see Clay Pigeons? Vince Vaughn?
Oh yeah, with Janine Garofalo. That's a great flick.
Yeah, that's an awesome flick. He plays this crazy redneck killer guy. It's really good.
Oh yeah, he was also in the.
After?
Which one?
Did that come before The Cell or after?
That was right around the same time.
I was going to say it was within a couple of years.
Because it was
now that we're talking about
97, 98.
It seems like the time where Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Lopez exploded, but did crap, but it made a lot of money. This seems to be the film that he went to comedy, she went to rom-com.
I think so. That's a fair statement.
Yeah, but Vince Vaughn was also in that John Travolta Civil Action or some shit like that. I think Vince Vaughn is, because he's put himself in that typecast role, that goofy, aloof character, he's really cost himself some amazing opportunities for good performances outside of that goofy role. I think the guy's got real chops.
Well, and he's trying to break out of it. I mean, did you see, was it Brawl in Cell Block 99?
No.
I didn't see that one. And another one that I think one of the better ones that was breaking out was the Delivery Man, because he was still kind of aloof and goofy, but it was a very, straightforward, not straightforward. It was a comedy for sure. But there was a very serious undertones in there where you had to be a little more reserved and not as goofy.
What was that one? Boiler Room? Was it called Boiler Room? Where he's in like telemarketing?
The one with Fast and Furious.
And Ed Harris was in it, I think. Anyway, he was really good in that one. If you saw it, that was a pretty intense kind of film. And if you have any kind of a sales background, he killed it. It just all totally made sense. He nailed it.
God, no, this movie was good. You know what this movie reminded me of too? I was thinking about it while you're talking. Was Bliss. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It was Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. It kind of had that vibe to it where
I did see that.
It was actually pretty good, and it was a hard watch because it was really drug out. But it was like at the end of it, I still didn't quite understand what was going on. There's still it could have been one way or it could have been the other, and
it's
so that was
film.
Yeah, exactly. It was. It was good. I mean, mind fuck for sure. Just kind of like this movie was.
Well, you know what I like to double feature this one with? I used to do it all the time. Was and just because you're hanging out with people and little hanging out in this Strangeland, D. Snyder's Strangeland, just because of the hanging on hooks element. Always fun.
Oh hell yeah!
And the serial killer aspect. You've got the serial killer aspect, and you've got the dude hanging from hooks by his skin, and so the Cell and Strangeland, good double feature.
That's good. I like that.
I always combine that. I always did Strangeland with Lost Highway.
Just
because the kind of the ethereal dream-like state of Captain Howdy's mentality and the stuff going on in Lost Highway, but that's actually that's kind of cool. I'm thinking that, yeah.
I
now I want to watch Strangeland
about Lost Highway.
That's a great movie.
Hopefully, rumor has it that we're supposed to get D. Snyder is still working on it. We're supposed to still get the follow-up to Strangeland.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Fingers
Make
crossed.
it a mini series on Netflix. That'd be dope.
I'll be happy if they ever release that Anamorphic on Blu-ray. I want a good version of Strangeland. The DVD version is crap, and I want some like a quality version of it.
Definitely. Jason, did I want to make sure we didn't cut you off.
Oh no.
I think.
My wife was bouncing me out. I was just like, I'm just trying to listen to figure out where you guys are at in the conversation.
I think that's where we're getting the feedback noise from. I think it's what it is. I think it might be lagging a bit, and it seemed like you're picking me up on a delay.
What it sounds like is it's over the speakers and the microphone's picking it up and trying to echo it out or cut it out.
Yeah.
Do you have headphones?
Like noise cancellation. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what you're looking for.
That's
it's gating.
Okay.
Well, seeing as how we're working on while we're working on those technical difficulties here, let me ask you guys a question. Seeing as how this is this going to be a one and done? Do you think they could make a sequel to this film?
Oh, maybe a continuation of the universe.
Continuation of the story. There's always there's some good characters in there that could always develop and kind of flesh out a little bit. Let me know what you think. weekinhorror.com. Well, gee, I just completely screwed the pooch on that one, didn't I? weekinhorror@gmail.com. Comments down below.
You won't get
You
anywhere.
can go to weekinhorror.com. I'm just not sure you're going to find us.
So wait a second, a sequel to The Cell?
Yeah.
I would think
continuation.
There is a sequel to The Cell. It's called The Cell 2. It was like a straight-to-video release.
No,
Well, not that
doesn't exist.
Oh, no.
studio release.
You want a solid
Same
not
actors.
bullshit, not
Yeah.
money grab. Let's do
Right.
something that's
Not a cash grab piece of shit that
Not
could
the
service
Cell
3 show.
also. Or also the Cell. The Cell too.
I'm looking at this thing, and that's not a sequel. That's a remake, and they just called it The Cell 2 because they literally followed the exact same fucking story.
They did. Yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad.
That one doesn't count.
I saw a trailer for that, and that's all I saw.
That's all you needed to see.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
That was the whole movie. That was it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We're gonna make it popular again by all going to its IMDb.
It's going to be trending.
People at IMDb are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's so hot right now.
I think a continuation of it. I think a continuation of it would be interesting. Not the exact same characters, but the technology in and of itself. The technology could be utilized, and you put that it was pioneered by this group. They did this. Military gets involved. Various things to be done here and there. I think there could be interesting shit there. It would have to be a really strong script. But I think it could be done.
Wrote It No Last Name said this could be an 8 to 12 episode HBO miniseries, which I could totally get behind that for sure.
Yeah.
You could do a bunch of new stuff with this, and you could go in a cool direction with like a short release.
Why? So they can do one amazing season and then fucking cancel it? Lovecraft Country.
Or they could just do one amazing season, period,
and then just call it a day. Yeah.
Call it a day,
How are they going to cancel Lovecraft Country after one fucking season? 18 Emmy nominations. They're just going to shut that down. Fuck you, HBO. Sorry, I'm bitter. I am so bitter. I watched that. I fucking love it.
Tell.
No.
I fucking love that damn. I love the book. I love that series. I thought it was amazing. It was the most transcendental shit I've seen on HBO in a long fucking time since Carnival. And Carnival got 3.
Why'd they cancel it?
I have no idea. Like no one understands why they canceled this, but they kept Watchmen.
It's always politics.
It's politics.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't even have
They
to
were
know.
looking for their own Firefly. That's what it was.
I was gonna mention Firefly, but I didn't want to overstep anybody's boundaries there. I was gonna say they're pulling a Firefly. Exactly.
Yeah.
They pulled the fucking Firefly. 18 Emmy nominations this show received its first season.
Crazy.
And then they canceled it. And now I think the creator
because they didn't win any Emmys.
I think the creator is trying to shop it over to Netflix. So to try and see if they can pick it up for season 2 there, because they had season 2 and I think all of season 3 already planned out because they were working hand in hand with the author of the original book and continuing those stories and going into really interesting shit that would have been even more fiercely topical about the whole kind of race divide in American kind of like this alternate universe, this Lovecraftian universe that they're in, and it would have been absolutely stunning. But I guess we'll never know. But hopefully, I don't know. Maybe Netflix will be smart and pick it up.
I'm gonna find out why they canceled it. There has to be a reason.
Probably, it probably has everything to do with, like you guys were talking about politics. The writers and the creators had a vision that HBO didn't want to spend money on,
or the director fucked the studio head's wife.
That is a possibility.
I found the answer.
Or
Chance, what do you got?
The show was criticized for exploiting for the purpose of its convoluted fiction. The show was accused of using historical events like the Tulsa Race Massacre to get points across for relevance, but for its own financial gain. Basically, they are saying that they were using trauma that happened to real people, fictionalizing it and using it for profit. Or so this article says.
Sounds like every other fucking movie I've ever seen.
So they made a movie.
I think what I said happened.
Eric said happened, and it was a cover-up. That's what it was.
One of the characters is the dad, the protagonist's father, is a gay black man who was caught, who at the time was a teenager during the Tulsa riots, during the Tulsa massacre, and actually managed to make it out alive. And obviously that trauma is what informs that character, which then in turn informs his son. It was some of the best writing I've seen in forever. There's a moment when, for the life of me, that actor's name who played his dad. There's a moment when he's trying to basically, as his son is going down this path, and the father doesn't want him to. So he decides to burn the book. And there's this moment when he's standing in his apartment and he throws the book in the trash. He sets it on fire, and we know that his dad is fucked up. He's a hardcore alcoholic. He's in the closet, homosexual in the 1950s. He's black, and this is just and they live in a small town. This is in Jim Crow, in the Jim Crow South. This is an awful position for him to be in. And then he's got that moment, and he's like, God, he's been through so much. This is awful. And then he throws the book in the trash, and he's burning it. And then as the smoke is filling the room, he has that moment where he takes a big breath, and he's like, smells like Tulsa. And then that's where the episode ends.
Oh God.
And I was like, holy fuck. You talk about hit in the gut writing right there. And I was transfixed the whole fucking series. So
guess what? You don't get to see how it turns out because they canceled it.
This wasn't the right time to release a fictionalized show about the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Probably not.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Speaking of ahead of its time, what movie do we have next, JL?
I don't know. Let's ask Alex.
He did it too. I mean, he did it, so I figured why not? Well, let me do it.
I love it. All right, we're gonna end this one on a good one. American Werewolf in London, August 21st, 1981. Written and directed by John Landis. This one was starring David Naughton, Joe Belcher, Jenny Agutter, Griffin Dunn, David Schofield, Brian Glover, Lilia Kane. This movie followed two American backpackers that were attacked by a werewolf. One of them was murdered, and the other one got fucked up. And he slowly starts to, have bad dreams, and he's dreaming that he's like running around on four legs, and slowly ends up becoming a werewolf. But he doesn't know, that he's a werewolf the first time, and kind of puts pieces together and tries to figure out what the fuck he's gonna do in his new found life, glory days.
Doesn't he win a basketball championship boxing championship?
It's boxing.
Right. Yeah,
close enough. Start seeing dead people and winning.
No, it was basketball. Then it was boxing. That's right. Yeah.
These are the people I work with.
Who knows?
Yeah.
No, but
all the love to Michael J. Fox. All the love to Michael J. Fox for his incredible work in the other side of the spectrum for this particular genre film.
And Jason Bateman.
What about Jason Bateman?
Well, he was Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm saying Michael J. Fox. But nonetheless, this is obviously an American Werewolf in London, one of the greatest werewolf films ever made.
Greatest transition, right?
Obviously, like that, John Landis gave us something that I think all of us have inspired all of us as filmmakers. I know. I don't know. I think Johnny's the oldest one. I think I'm older than everybody else here. I remember seeing this one in the early. I think I saw this one like 86 is when I first saw it.
My first exposure to this film was at the Fort Worth Science Museum. They had this horror thing that was this horror exhibit. That's when you walked in, there was like this big Ripley Queen Alien fight thing going on. They played that scene, and then they had this transition scene talking about the transformation between man to werewolf. And I remember looking at this thing, what the fuck is that? That looks fucking cool. My father would let me watch it for the longest time. He didn't have a problem letting me watch fucking Alien. But Werewolf in London, no, we're not doing that one.
But I know as filmmakers, I mean, this one, Landon, obviously this film deeply influenced me. And I know that you guys have your own takeaways on this one. This, one of the most legendary films ever made.
Yeah, the match between comedy and horror in this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It is perfect. Nobody's actually done horror and comedy better, I don't think. You go from his character as the wolf chasing the guy down in the London Underground, getting him on the escalator, about to tear him apart. It scares the shit out of you, and then to just cut immediately to a lion, and then he's naked in a zoo, and it's funny as hell. And you're just like, it relieves the tension that you immediately felt from him like running. You're instantly like, this is funny. I'm still on edge, but this is funny. I feel better now.
Yep.
So it's a perfect marriage of comedy and horror.
Brings you up and lets you down slowly.
Exactly. And that transition scene is anybody will tell you it's legendary.
Definitely.
It's amazing.
That movie made it got I think special effects and makeup artists the recognition they deserved. It finally made America, or in our industry, say, "Oh shit, they're good." Because I watched it the other day to get ready for this, and I can't believe they didn't have any CGI. I mean, you can tell some of it's a little cheesy, but like when his face explodes out, they can't do that any better with a computer.
No.
And, I mean, you can tell part of it is robotic, but and then there's a scene where Jack comes and visits him in the hospital, and he's shredded, and he's got all the skin and all the blood just hanging there, and I'm like, this looks more real than any of the shit we see today. I think.
And Trey's right. The interactions with him and his friend. What was it? The scene in the porno theater when the dead people are telling him how to kill himself. Yeah. Glover Mama in the live chat, the scene in the porno theater with the dead people coming to tell him how to off himself was hilarious. Absolutely correct. And of course, obviously, I loved the friends' interactions, shredded to pieces, like falling apart, like the hey, it's like what the. But then intersperse, you take moments like that, and then intersperse them with like the nightmare scene when he's having these dreams, like these fucking soldiers coming in, and it's so fucking surreal and it's just absurd, But I mean, the way it plays out, and it's fucking. And then there were some scary fucking moments in this movie. Not to mention, and we always fall back on one of the greatest transformation scenes I think put to film.
Absolutely.
And we talked about the transformation. I love the transformation scene; it's so awesome. But the gradual decomposition of Griffin Dunn, Jack, that Rick Baker did, and just having that progressively through the movie as you see him slowly rot. That was one of the big things for me, where it just fucked me up, especially to the point where he's completely decomposed, and you just see his like jaw moving with like tendons and shit. That was. That's
And the eyeballs just like set in his sockets.
Yes, that was a landmark thing. Like Chance said, that kind of put makeup on it and on special effects on everybody's radar. That's why a couple of years later, Tom Savini's on fucking David Letterman for like 2 or 3 years doing shit like you never saw shit like that before. And then honestly, Rick Baker just, and like I said, Bravo team to everybody in the early '80s, they made it to where special effects artists were like nationally known after that, and you knew their names.
Definitely. Eric, what did you I want to make sure we go ahead.
Yeah, it's cool. I appreciate that. So I only saw this film in bits and pieces on cable television, so I kept meaning to get back to it, but it did make me think of something. So I believe that was the exact reason the transformation scene is why they recruited John Landis for Michael Jackson's Thriller, and the whole transformation of Michael Jackson into the werewolf there. I believe that's where that came from, if I'm not mistaken, and that was like the first of a kind transformation for a music video, which changed the landscape of music video as well. But now I got to go back and watch this damn movie. When I heard that it was going to be the ones we're talking about, I'm like, shit, I think I've been meaning to watch that fully through for like decades now.
I think Trey said the exact same thing on this one when we were doing the breakdown on Sunday.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it in like 10 years, and I was pissed off because it needs to be in a regular rotation, at least once every 6 months, because it's that good. And, it was great to get a reminder of that, but I feel like I have, I've been treating it like a child, a redheaded stepchild that I just put in the corner. I feel really bad now, and I want to make up for it and take it out to see a good movie and buy it cookies. So
I feel bad too.
The beginning sequence when they're walking through the rainy forest of London, and you can tell
Moors, right?
The Moors,
they're the Moors, yeah.
And you can tell the camera's just basically turning, and they're just walking, and it just looks like they're moving, but they filmed it obviously in a field. That kind of reminded me of us shooting some of the stuff we shoot. Just hey, we'll make this work, and it works. I mean, I think that's the scariest part, whenever they can hear him in the distance, and they know the wolf's getting closer, and then it becomes a comedy. But I love the opening part.
Like when he's getting torn apart, like right after they hear it and it tears him apart. That shit's hilarious. Like that.
Right after that, it's a comedy.
Oh, right after that. Okay, good.
It's interesting. Eric brought up Thriller, and because that's what Michael Jackson wanted. He brought him in, and he did all the makeup effects on that. And it was funny because he actually turned him into a werecat. And the decision eventually made because he didn't want to do another werewolf. He's like, I don't want to do another werewolf. But did this thing, so he turned him into the werecat. It did that whole thing, which I thought at the end looked fucking amazing. Totally. I thought that was cool as shit in Thriller. Something new that we hadn't seen before. But fuck yes, this movie was amazing and something interesting. Obviously, parts Landis, Rick Baker, the sound and everything that. Everything about, and not to mention the comedy aspects of, but one thing that's really interesting is that this is 1981. This movie overlapped with another werewolf film that I consider to be The Howling. Mm-hmm. Same year, and The Howling came out first. Howling came out in March. This one came out in August. Right. So this thing went head to head with arguably probably some would say The Howling was better.
Well, why would you think that The Howling? I mean, The Howling should have been the better movie. It's based on Cycle of the Werewolf. Stephen King is the king of horror. It was released earlier in the year?
Well, no, The Howling was based on The Howling. It was written by another author, and Silver Bullet was based on Cycle of the Werewolf.
I got to mix it up. Okay. But wasn't it released earlier in the year than American Werewolf?
The Howling came out in March of '81, and this one came out in August.
Yeah, spring and then fall.
And Silver Bullet didn't hit until '85.
I wonder why American Werewolf in London did so much better.
I think it's because of the characters.
Character development, the comedy, Landis' direction, which, don't get me wrong, fucking Howling's brilliantly directed. It's just, I don't know, there's something about, like you said, like 70s, early 80s Landis that's just...
Well, we talked about it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we talked about it in the breakdown, talking about how it was the story is told from the perspective of the guy who turns into the werewolf, which gave it a bit of a different perspective than The Howling.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I mean, two different perspectives, but the American Werewolf in London, I think. Like you said, it was the characters, it was the cast, it was the marketing. Everything just kind of came together with that one. And then the first group of people to see it saw the genre mashup with the comedy involved in it. Did such a good thing for this movie. Where if you're trying to have like a scary movie night, you watch The Howling. If you want to have like a chill, relaxed night, you watch American Werewolf in London.
I know that jump scare is pretty tough in there, though.
What, in The Howling?
No, in American Werewolf in
No,
London.
American Werewolf in London.
It's got to be the best jump scare in cinema.
You're talking about the hospital one or the
No.
double wake up or the double wake up one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the double wake up dream jump scare was really, really solid. Yeah. And it's interesting, and I think they were right on that. It was the characterization in American Werewolf that allowed for people to invest themselves better in that movie. So The Howling itself was extraordinarily dark and it was a very, very cynical film, had a very cynical ending. It had Dee Snider in it, not Dee Snider, Dee Wallace had Dee Wallace Stone in it and her husband at the time, which I thought was pretty amazing because the two of them also worked together on Cujo. And so Dee Wallace, E.T.'s mom, was in this one, giving it that level of star power that American Werewolf didn't really have. And then, of course, a darker, more cynical film. And I thought, and while, there were a couple of moments, I think the animations, it was kind of like, there was a couple of moments that weren't so great. But overall, Robert Picardo's transformation, I thought was epic and far more gruesome than American Werewolf. American Werewolves looked painful. That just looked really agonizing watching that. But I thought Robert Picardo's transformation in The Howling was absolutely astounding. And of course, this is Rob Bottin and doing that. We know him from his work on The Thing in 1981. So, but I think it does come down to
horror film of all time. Just saying it, throwing it out.
Yes, agreed. Yep. Number one. And
the sequel was good too.
You mean the prequel?
Doesn't matter, JL.
It does matter. It does matter.
But
But I think it does come down to the characterization of these. We care about the characters, and we care about the characters in American Werewolf. We can invest ourselves in them. We invest ourselves in not only the fear that he has, but also the girl that he's never going to get because of what's happened to him. Whereas in Howling, we know it's going to end bad. These are bad werewolves. They're whatever, and then of course it ends with Dee having herself killed on national television and shit. Such a dark fucking movie.
Yeah.
It may have been what it was, because you said sometimes it just doesn't ring with the audiences, no matter how good it is.
Well, and American Werewolf in London also had a great soundtrack too, especially it worked really well. I mean, the foreshadowing of having Bad Moon Rising like right before his transformation, it's perfect. And then
there were a lot of moon references in the songs, weren't there?
Oh yeah. The opening credits, Bad Moon Rising, and then in the closing credits, you've got one as well.
Yeah. Tony Regime and Globe Ramon are making an excellent point.
Let's see here. Globe Ramon says, to me, American Werewolf in London and The Howling.
That's not the point.
Oh, well, it wasn't?
Tony's Regime starts it.
Oh, did I miss it?
Would you like to read it for us, Johnny?
I will read it. It says American Werewolf in London had Jenny Aguirre, and she was known for almost always being topless in films.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah,
this is true. She was quite a bit of nudity in her day.
Yes, and she was not bad to look at.
Oh, and I see that Globe Ramon follow up. She was topless in Logan's Run. Okay.
Yep. Also true.
But Road to the Nose, Linole's name just says, remember, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. What we do in the shadows is fucking amazing. God, that movie was fucking legend. Oh, but definitely, I adore this. Oh, yeah. I adore this fucking movie. And I really can't think of. I think of movies that come close. The Howling, I think, comes the closest. A very tight number 2. I think
Silver Bullet's good too.
Silver Bullet was good. Silver Bullet was good. Bad Moon was good. God dang it, that one with fucking Nick D'Amici. Late Phases was solid. I think, but all of them good because of the characterization. Nick D'Amici is amazing in that. With an excellent cast around him, including Tom Noonan and Ethan Embry. And then you've got Bad Moon, which was was it? I almost said Mare Winningham. I don't think that's her in that, but an excellent cast in that one. And then of course, what's the third one I said? Oh, and you said Silver Bullet, obviously. Corey Haim,
Mariel Hemingway.
Mariel Hemingway, that was it. Sorry, thank you. Mare Winningham, and Gary Busey. So, and actually, that's what it comes down to: characters that we invest ourselves into. That really drives the film. Where characters are as important as the effects and the monster that we're there to see. So, I think it's what sets them apart.
So, I'd like to ask the audience a question on that note. Did American Werewolf in London set a bar, and has anything even come close to it? We've gone over a couple. They were kind of all around the same time almost. But since then, I don't know if I could really put any werewolf movie in close to this one. Let us know what you think in the comments. weekinhorror@gmail.com. But yeah, the way that this one was done, like you said, with the genre mashup and the practical effects that were just so good, and the good jump scares, and the way you could really get into the story and you're held the whole time, it was fantastic. I don't know.
Ooh,
remember that?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Remember that '90s werewolf bomb, Cursed, with Christine Ricci?
Oh my God!
Have we talked about that one?
No one's mentioned
That was
it.
like 2006, wasn't it?
I think there's a reason why nobody did. That was a Dimension film.
That movie cost a fortune and made nothing. Oh, there are two. Gavlar, the Hand of Zod, one of the most amazing names on the internet. This Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers. Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. His fucking directorial debut.
First time. Nobody's ever good their first time.
Well, Neil Marshall
speak
was.
for yourself.
And Ginger Snaps.
Nice.
Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
What about Wolf?
Very, very good film.
So Ginger Snaps was a good one. And
Jack Nicholson was good.
I don't know. I can't get the image of like puppet Jack Nicholson head and puppet James Spader head biting at each other.
Oh, it was so bad.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
If you notice, if you look up werewolf films, they don't make a lot of them, and most of them don't make money. So I wonder what, because it's so I mean, I know none of it's believable, but it's so unbelievable that someone would transform into a werewolf. I think it's the transformation that makes it, that sells it or not. I don't know what it would be, because werewolves, the whole idea is terrifying, but the movies don't do that well. And I don't know.
That is, that is weird.
The
Well, I
only way
guess
it's been working is they've been putting it into films with vampires and other creatures at the same time.
That kind of stuff.
You know?
Right.
Did anybody see Werewolves Within?
Haven't planned out.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time, Jason?
Okay, I have a werewolf script that's going to be pretty good. Not going to reveal anything, but I think it will actually make some money. It's in the werewolf comedy vein, so I think that would actually be
risky.
That's the one you sent me, right? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I read that one.
Awesome. And I was asking, has anybody had a chance to see Werewolves Within? I recently streamed it to our Discord channel and into our theater, so everybody can check it out. I thought it was actually better than I thought. It was based off the fucking game, the hidden information game.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It's on the list.
It's funny as hell. It has great moments, great acting, and fucking the AT&T girl. I can't remember her last name's difficult to pronounce. I'm not going to try, but we all know her as the AT&T girl. She's fucking hysterical in this, and I thought the transformation of the werewolf was not bad. It wasn't overly extreme, so it didn't go into because that's not the point of it. We realize when we find out who the werewolf actually is, the transformation of the werewolf is not super the point.
It's just Vintrube.
Huh?
Vintrube. Milana
No, I
Vintrube.
don't think it's pronounced like that.
That's how she has it spelled phonetically. Vintrube, like Vinboob.
Ooh.
The
girl is more than her assets. God damn it!
I'm not doing. Look, you're the one who called her AT&T girl.
She is the AT&T girl. I'm not wrong on this.
The woman is more than the one commercial series she did. Gosh,
she's still doing them. But nonetheless, yes, Charlie Welch, the only man on the internet you never make a bet with, says she is El Smoko hot. Yes, she is El Smoko hot. But she's hilarious in this movie. She gets a chance to flex her acting chop, her comedy chop. She's great. And the transformation it's because it's not the point. They don't focus on hardcore, but I thought the werewolf looked pretty good. It's definitely worth a check out. It just recently came out. You can check it out on streaming. We streamed it to the Discord channel in our theater where we show movies. Speaking of which this Friday we will be. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th. We will be streaming all the Friday the 13th in our theater in the Discord channel. The link is in the description. And starting at noon, Friday the 13th.
Is that going to include Freddy versus Jason? Please say no.
Every single one. Every single one of them is going to be in there.
I'm coming in for Jason.
You can skip that one.
Freddy versus Jason?
Say again?
Are you ending with Freddy versus Jason?
I think we're showing all in order. I think we are ending with Freddy versus. No. We're going to be ending with the 2009 Friday the 13th.
Okay.
You don't have to. You can skip that one.
You got to show them all.
No, you don't. You really
don't. They're
don't.
like Pokemon. You got to even catch the ugly ones.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Eric's face.
The pain.
I will be there suffering with them throughout the whole thing.
I won't.
Oh, and the George says, I will fight all of you. FVJ was amazing.
I don't think we're talking about the same movie. Yeah,
we're not talking about the same movie. But definitely let us know, everyone in the live chat and those listening later on, let us know in the comments. Do you think American Werewolf in London set the bar too high? I mean, has anything cleared the bar? We talked about some movies that we think came close. Do you think something kind of got over the bar? Do you think something was better than AWIL? Who knows? But maybe something coming out in the future, maybe better than that. Fingers crossed. We can always hope, because if it's still the number one, it's going to come down to some filmmaker out there to try and clear that bar. God, it's going to be a hard one to do. Gotta love that 80s horror. Fucking A.
Yes,
So
it's the greatest genre.
Taking the bar from the ground. The bar was set, in hell. And then we took it all the way to the top. I like this.
What was this? Charlie Welch. Now, Ford versus Ferrari was amazing. Freddy versus Jason was a fermented dumpster fire.
The sound design, Ford versus Ferrari. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. This thing, we have the greatest fucking live chat of any horror podcast out there. These guys are amazing.
Now, speaking of awesome things related to Friday the 13th, don't we have some sort of thing to do with a thing about a box and a Gwyneth Paltrow head?
It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Damn it.
What's in the box?
So this was the box, and everybody has been waiting for this reveal. So yes, it is that time. It is time to do the week's trivia question.
We should ask a trivia question before we tell them what's in the box.
We should ask. Really?
Yes.
You want to delay this thing as much as we can, don't you?
Yes.
All right. Fucking hell. Okay. So
it's worth it.
What is in this box? This box that people have been waiting, I think, almost 2 weeks to know what was inside, which I have not revealed yet. So I'll leave it sitting right there. But what is in that box is worth the question that we are about to ask you. The question is a difficult one, so get ready. All right, and I'm going to bring up. Somebody have do one of you guys have the Johnny, Alex have the live chat up? So I want to make sure that we get the person call is the first one. Yeah, okay. So I want to make sure that we get the first person so we can confirm that. We don't want to run into any issues.
Let me remind myself of the answer. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, so it is trivia time. Flex those Google fingers because this one is going to be a tough one, a difficult one to match. What you're getting in this box.
It's a very specific question. You got to be very specific.
So, through the entire Jason franchise, how many characters have met their ends on screen by the iconic Jason Voorhees weapon, the machete?
It's more than one, less than 1 million. It's the only clue I'm giving you.
So one more time, throughout the entire Jason Voorhees franchise, how many characters have met their ends on screen at the hands of the machete?
Machete kills. How many?
Now you're making it confusing. Hey, we didn't get it right away.
So first correct answer in the live chat gets what's in the box.
NA is so close.
Giggity.
I will reveal it when we get the correct answer. Oh, we got the numbers rolling in. Who we got? It was like that. Let me see here. So NA, one of our amazing patrons, says 69. Close, but not really the best number of all. Jack Burton says 12. Oh, a little bit off. Glober Mom says 157. Charlie Welch says 157. Daryl M says 157. And no, I'm sorry, that's not it. And the George says 72. No, not 72. And NA is laughing at them all. Or laughing at 69 because 69 is funny.
Hey, your wish came true, Jay.
What's funny is I know where they're getting the number 157, and unfortunately, it's not it. Now, to give some information on this, to get this number, I had to go through each film and count every kill because this number is not readily available on the internet.
Oh shit! You got
you have to know where to look.
I found it just to see how hard it would be to find it. You have to actually dig for this one. It's not something that you have to go through some pretty hardcore websites to find this.
So I had to
157.
157 is the total number of on-screen kills that he has, and yes, total number of on-screen kills that he's got.
While we're waiting for the answer to come in, what's the greatest Jason Voorhees kill?
Ooh, that's a round table.
Jason's on it. Jason's on it right there.
Okay, I got two. Okay, number one.
Okay.
His last chapter, fucking Tom Savini's. That's one of my favorites. He does fucking Crispin Glover catching the corkscrew in the hand and then the fucking cleaver. Whack! Just fuck. Oh, I love that. Second is the best machete kill in the whole fucking series. Also, the same movie when it's fucking Jason getting killed, bro. When he lands on the machete,
slides on the machete.
That's the best machete kill in the whole thing.
Awesome. Unfortunately, no. Tony Regime, not it. Not 112. Jack Burton, not 66. And the George said, not 65.
You know what's going to happen is they're going to start
start hitting the numbers. Then people better start putting them numbers up. Chance, favorite Jason kill?
The one with the corkscrew and the machete or the cleaver.
Nice. Trey?
I got to think about it.
Oh, there's so many.
There are. I mean, my favorite film is still Jason Lives. That's my favorite in the series. So I'm going through it, trying to.
6 is amazing.
Yeah.
I have some honorable mentions in 6, personally. While he's thinking, Eric, what's your favorite?
Corkscrew machete cleaver.
Nice.
It is what it is.
The only good part about Jason X is the sleeping bag kill.
Oh, the sleeping bag kill.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, where you
Uh-oh. Somebody check the side chat.
No. Not quite yet. Let me see here. Getting closer. Let's see. And the George said 65. So he wrote no. Last name said 18. That's a no. Gavlar Henderson said 43. No. Tony Regime said 46. No. NA 67. Unfortunately not. And the George said 64, 63, 68. Tony Regime says 46. Charlie Welch says 126. Glover Mom says 13. Rhoda No Last Name says 10 to the negative 17 tour. I think that's the app. No, it's space. That's in X. And the George says 49. It's 47. Glover Mom's 33, 42, 124, 66, 47, 55, 125. No!
It's not like a goddamn.
No one has it yet.
What is it?
I'm not telling you who, but somebody's gotten really close.
A few people gotten close.
One guy has been one number off twice.
77 and 30. Oh man. Alex, favorite kill.
Okay, see, I got an unpopular opinion here because I love the franchise, but Jason X had some of the most brutal fucking kills.
Liquid nitrogen kill?
The face smash fucking dude. Seriously.
That would not work.
No, it wouldn't, but it was great.
The girl was dead already, head frozen, and then fuck this bitch.
Jason X had some of my favorites for sure.
He Demolition Mander.
Yes, he did.
That's what I was looking for, Eugene.
Oh, that sounds like an auctioneer.
Yep.
65, 85, 70, 55, 127. So, Johnny, favorite kill?
I told you already. The only good part about Jason X was the
sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag kill.
Because
it was the way he wanted it to be in 7.
So very close, very, very close honorable mentions are the sleeping bag kill in 7, which is I think is just the editing on it is just brilliant. I think it's great. Obviously the liquid nitrogen death is fantastic in X. There's a bunch of really, really good ones. My number one favorite, and it gets me every fucking time, is because of the setup. And it's so simple because it's in 7, The New Blood. It's when they're having the argument in the little house, and she's like, we're having the argument in the house, and she says,
we have to pause this.
She says she's about to leave.
No,
she's like,
we have to pause this.
I see it. I'm gonna fucking finish this.
Put it on the screen.
Congratulations, and the George said hit it with 48. God,
fucking running around that number for the last 5 minutes.
Finish my fucking story.
Okay, finish the story. Sorry.
But it's when she's arguing she's going to leave, and so we don't think you should go out there. He's like, "Fuck you!" And she opens the door, and he's fucking standing there. What? Just the action in the head, and then he just jumps her ass out behind the TV.
One of my other favorites is when he kills the guy in the wheelchair.
Just
because he's a fucking guy in a wheelchair. Like, come on.
Just the way it looked, just like wham, and then Kane took her by the shoulder and was just behind it. She just falls by the TV and she's just gone. We never see her body again. It's just she just fell out of
done with you.
Fucking A.
And then 69 was close to all the other answers when people were saying 157 at the time. So that's
we had so many people guessing yes, and the George said picked it up with 48 kills throughout the entire franchise, the entire Jason series were done with the machete. That's from 1 all the way up to the 2009 remake. So 48 and
hang on, wait, stop. We have a question from the panel.
Okay, yes.
There's a honorable mention kill. I think it's in part 3 where the guy is walking on his hands.
Oh, in between the legs. Oh, that's a fucking rough one.
Make a wish.
Like, I never forgot that.
Oh, there's and I gotta say the 6, Jason Lives, the RV kill.
Yeah,
I think the RV kill, the double kill, the RV kill is iconic because it's the girl's face in the side of the. That one always sticks out to me. It's just like fucking hell, and then of course the guy just like knife in the head. You're dead. But then it crashes, and then Jason gets out, and the fucking thing's on fire, and he's like, "Fuck yeah!" And it's like that. If Kane Hodder hadn't picked it up, I would have loved C.J. Graham to continue on with the franchise. If they hadn't picked up Kane. All right.
Don't do it. Don't tell him. Just send it to him.
I'm gonna fucking show it to him.
No.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? So congratulations, and the George said.
Don't show it.
What's in the box?
You win
a big shiny box.
They can see it. They can see it. The Friday the 13th.
You should go full screen, JL, so they can really see it.
I should go full screen. Let's do that. I'll be okay. Give me 1 second.
There we go.
There you go. And the George said,
"Wow,
big
you get the entire Blu-ray release.
It's a hell of a prize
of Friday the 13th. The whole box set.
The whole shebang.
Does that include
right
Freddy
here
versus Jason?
No, that doesn't count.
Everything is in. Everything is in here. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, Friday the 13th remake, and the Friday the 13th collection bonus material, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So this bad boy, congratulations, and the George said, this bad boy is yours. We will send this out to you. Congratulations. You're damn fucking lucky because I almost kept the thing myself.
He's still going to keep it himself. You're just going to get like a picture of it. That's all.
He's going to picture me holding it.
Yeah.
He's pulling.
I just happened to think of a kill.
Oh, what?
I forgot. Okay, so it's not from 6. It's from 8. The uppercut.
The only brother the only brother who tried to go the fade with fucking Jason Voorhees. I mean, He put up his best. He really did.
He did try hard.
He was ready.
It's like, this is it, brother. This is it.
You could say he really had his head in that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, full panel groan. Oh.
One of my favorite parts of that of Ray was whenever Jason was walking down the street and these punks were messing with him, and he just turns around and takes his mask off.
That's that is actually a hilarious moment.
Yeah.
They're doing it on live stream. So the live stream in Times Square, which is one of the few places they had an opportunity to kind of shoot really fast. Right. They go there doing the deal, and the scene they had to do it really, really quick. So Kane Hodder's supposed to come down. He's supposed to kick the fucking boombox, and then the guy's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he does the mask thing. What's funny as hell is if you watch the final cut, watch the actual film, watch the film. He kicks the fucking boombox. And I remember Kane talking about this one time. He kicked the boombox, and the kick didn't go the way he wanted it to. So he kicked it, and he was like, and it didn't fly because it kind of hit his leg wrong. And out of frustration, he kicks it again. And the second time he kicked it, he was like, fuck this fucking thing. Because he was having difficulty seeing through the mask and what was going on. He had no peripheral vision. So he was kind of like trying to aim and keep his head up instead of like looking down at the ground. He was kind of like trying to do this, and he ends up kicking it with like his shin. And it kind of like flies. He's like, "Oh fuck this!" And he goes to try and kick it in. If you watch the editing, he's a little bit off. You can catch the beginning of the second kick when he's like, "Oh fuck this piece of shit." Greatest moment everyone has when you have the context behind the moment.
Yep. I still think that was that one had the best teaser trailer ever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember watching this, but it's it starts out like the New York skyline and whatnot, and it's like kind of creeping up on this person standing on a bridge, and you think it's going to be like this because they're like trying to fake out like it's this romantic comedy or some shit that's set in New York and what and they slowly build up, and then all of a sudden the guy turns around, it's fucking Jason Voorhees. Yeah.
Well, the poster for it was great too because it was the "I Heart New York," but it was Jason's mask, and had Freddy going right through it.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, I gotta love the '80s. I miss the '80s. All right. Well, congratulations once again to And the George Head for winning tonight's trivia, the Friday the 13th collection, the deluxe edition Blu-ray set. We will get that out to you as soon as we can. I see. He says now I just need a Blu-ray player. Isn't that funny? Let me see here.
Don't tell him that. He's going to keep it in the drawers. He's going to keep it. It's like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it.
So, Sarcasm says, Week in Horror, I received my nail gun poster, but I'm trying to find a safe place for my cat to flatten it out so he can frame it. I get that. We autographed one of our trivia prizes. We autographed one of our nail gun posters from the short film that we did. That one rack focus. It's up there in the corner. But we all autographed a copy, and then we gave that away. Sarcasm won that one. Let me see here. And wrote no less name says, care to mention the Jason statue in the lake next to a diving school? True story. I heard about that Jason statue that was at the bottom of a lake, and it was removed because
I have been to that lake. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in. I have been into that lake. We used to go camping at that lake all the time, and they have a diving school there. And so when you're like floating around, because they stock it with guppies and shit for the kids to snorkel, and it's a crystal clear lake that goes down like hundreds of feet. And and so so there's divers that you can see swimming around, and they're all looking for the Jason statue. Super cool.
And they removed it because
they hate life.
The city claimed that it was litter.
Yep.
Fuck the city.
They declared it litter, and they had the statue removed.
The city is litter.
No fucking imagination. Go ahead, Chance.
I was just gonna say government bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like moving the Rocky statue to the side of the fucking building versus being up there on top of the stairs. That was bullshit.
Isn't there a RoboCop statue in Detroit?
It's from Detroit.
I don't. There's the Joe Louis fist, but I don't recall. Like that was filmed in Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, but it takes place in Detroit. They actually were raising money to build one in Detroit. I don't remember what happened with it.
Yeah, I never heard with it.
I don't think it happened.
The city turned it down for a place to be. The thing is, they were going to have the funding. They actually had it to where it was raised with the fundraising process, and the city denied them an actual spot on public grounds, which to me would be like, go find a fucking cool bar downtown whose property is right there. Put fucking RoboCop there. It's got to happen. But yeah,
I think it would have been cool in Hart Plaza, just right in Hart Plaza.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whenever you just see downtown Dallas the whole time when you're in old Detroit, it's like, okay, there's Reunion Tower, there's this, there's that. It's like, every time you watch it. That's I-30 right there by fucking Peak Street.
That was the futuristic city back then.
That's what they thought. Yeah, it was the most futuristic city. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so I had to look into
Probably
it. The
because it
statue,
was dirt cheap.
the statue that you guys are talking about getting removed, that was out of a lake in Arizona. The one that I'm talking about is in a lake in Crosby, Minnesota. But yeah, they did pull the one out of the one in Arizona. So apparently there's a couple lakes with Jason sitting at the bottom of them.
Nice.
Lake Louisville has real bodies just floating down.
I mean, you could just go find anybody in Lake Louisville.
That's true. Courtesy of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
First thing I ever saw when I moved to Texas, I was driving to Louisville to get booze because you couldn't get booze in Denton. And so we're going to pick up beer, and we're driving by, and they're literally dragging a body out of Lake Louisville. I'm like, what the fuck's going on there?
Oh, well, that's just
apparently
Tuesday.
that happens. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday. Yeah.
Are you getting booze from Louisville, or were you going to the colony to get booze?
No, I was going to Louisville. It was Buckeye Liquor in Louisville.
Like Dallas.
Nice.
I guess, yeah, technically it was Lake Dallas. You're right.
Yeah.
That's where I
we used to have to drive there.
Right over by White Rock Lake. No shit, the White Rock Falls right over there. They were pulling some bum out that had his fucking throat slit. I'm not even shitting. Driving by right there, I was just like, what the hell? And I saw on the news later, I was like, holy shit, I've lived in Dallas for like 10 minutes. And this is
You could have been on TV.
It's too cool.
Driving by, you just see Jason driving by like.
JL's hard at work over there. Look at him. He's typing away, doing his thing, kicking ass, taking names, wondering how he can get out of sending that box set to Anna George said. All that stuff. See, there he goes again.
I have
it's like,
a
damn
feeling
it, I
some
want to keep it.
sexual things are going to happen to that box before it leaves because it's just too nice. You can't let
They've already happened to the box.
take your piece of it with you.
Use sanitizer. That's it.
Oh man, I like JL. You're such a funny guy. You're a fun guy. You know that? No, you don't know that you're a fun guy. Fine. Fine, I'm just going to end the show. You know what? I'm trying to pay you a compliment. You're out here you're just being a real jerk about it. So I'm going to end the show just because of you, JL. A huge thanks to our special guest for hanging out with us tonight. Before we close it out, though, seriously, though, if you've got whatever it is you got coming up, let us know about it. But tell everybody, tell the world, or at least this little podcast that we're doing.
Absolutely.
So, Chance, what do you got going on?
Well, right now, obviously, as you've said, we're running our Indiegogo campaign for the Red River Expressway Killer. We've already hit our initial goal. We're running to a stretch goal of 20,000. And we're going to do some more fundraiser stuff throughout the fall. On Friday the 13th, we're running special perks. Free perk Friday. Any perk you buy comes with a digital copy of the soundtrack, a digital copy of the poster, and then a front page of the script that we will all sign and mail to you. So any perk that you purchase on Friday the 13th comes with 3 free perks, regardless of what you buy. Got some cool things on there, from parts in the movie, kill scenes, missing posters, lots of fun stuff to help get our film off the ground. As far as other things that we have going, we are premiering Amityville Cult at Rubber Gloves Rehearsal Studio in Denton on September 19th. Doors open at 7:30. Film starts at dark. Really cool space here in Denton. They've remodeled it, and they're revamping it, and it is awesome. And then as far as things that I have working on, I'm on the TV show Vindication. Season 2 will be on Amazon Prime, pushed out by Pureflix. I do Christian and horror films, so it is what it is. But
Nice. They're both scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
One's terrifying.
Yeah. So.
And the other's horror films.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I thought, wow, just before the show, I saw a trailer for Interview with God that's put out by Pureflix. It's a Pureflix film. And I was kind of like, I was going through getting my notes. All of a sudden, I was on Facebook and I was messaging you guys like that. And all of a sudden, the first thing I saw was a trailer for that. I was like, what? Pureflix? Oh, it's Pureflix. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
So that's everything I'm working on.
Awesome. And how about you, Jason? What do you got going on?
Oh, besides, like I said, obviously Red River Expressway Killer, and then we also have the same day that we have the premiere for Amityville Cult earlier in the day on September 19th in Fort Worth at the Granbury Theater, the Longhorn Film Festival. My film, Serious Predicament, that have Chance and Trey are in, will be screening. I think it's the second to the last film, and that'll be probably around like 4 or 5. And then a couple hours later, if you just dropped it, you can come watch the premiere of Amityville Cult. So it works out perfectly. And then I believe in October, my second film, Her Look, that Chance is in, is going to be playing at the Corpus Christi Film Festival. I think it's like the 28th of October. I can't remember 100%. You have to check on my website. But yeah, that's really all I got. What about you other guys?
Fantastic. Trey?
I got all the same stuff they're doing.
That makes it easy.
They listed all of it.
Any social media or anything that people can follow you at?
So I'm at, you can do either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and the tag is Sir Didymus, SRDIDYMUS, the little yappy dog from Labyrinth. So, yeah, you can go there to look at all the film stuff I do, or pictures of my kids, or cat, or just off humor. So, yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. And Eric?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting time right now. So, I got all this stuff going on for the most part that they're doing. I'm involved with a lot of it. But for Amityville Cult, I've got a new song that I did called Darkness Never Lies, and a new music video that Chance co-directed with me, and Trey did the drone work. I'm going to premiere that on September 3rd. It's going to be a live premiere on Facebook, and then we're going to use that also to promote Amityville Cult. But the cool thing is for me, so I used to be in an industrial band called Tungsten Coil for a number of years. We played South by Southwest a bunch of times, won an Austin Music Award and such. And then about 6 years ago, I went deaf in my right ear, sudden sensory neural hearing loss, and it fucked my whole world up because I was a play-by-ear musician. And there was 2 previous attempts to try to learn to write music again and sing with headphones on and everything. Couldn't do it. Finally, it's come around, which was spurred by Chance sort of tapping me on the shoulders to get involved with Amityville Cult. And all of a sudden now I've been like pushing my ass off to prove to myself that I can do it. And the funny byproduct is, thanks to Chance pushing me in this direction, is it's the best music I've written in my entire life. So we're debuting that music video, super proud of it. I'll send you guys an advance link to it so you can check it out and just groove on it a bit. It's pretty fucking creepy. We did a good job. I'm real proud of it. And then I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that movie I mentioned, Malibu Horror Story, that Dustin Harris Productions in LA, I submitted a new song for them called Closer Than Ever Before, and it's bad to the bone. And everybody who likes it who made the film, and now they're testing it through marketing. So we'll see if it happens, but fingers are crossed. And then Chance and I are also working on a script for a TV show called Disease, which is sort of in the vein of like a Dexter kind of a film, but not like that. It's like on Dexter kind of thing on crack, and real excited about that. And I am working on a script for a short film as well. So lots is going on, and none of it be going on without these guys. So I'm proud to be working with all of them.
Awesome. Amazing team you guys got put together, and it's fantastic when you can find the people. Sometimes it feels like kismet. You just kind of run into each other and just kind of clicks like that. Eugene and I share a similar story. We met on a 48-hour film festival, and just by chance, they needed a writer, they needed a DP. We both showed up. Wham! There you go. It's like we clicked. Our shorthand was just like we understood each other. We had the same vision, and we've been working together ever since. I've AD'd for him. I first AD'd for him, second UD'd for him. I've written for him a number of times. I wrote the Nail Gun short that took Rack Focus. And, of course, we're working on a number of projects now. So, yeah, just when you find those people that you trust, those people that you can speak with, that's, the crew we have here at Week in Horror. It's how we made this show. So we hold on to them. So, definitely. You guys are lucky you found that. And congratulations to you guys on all the success, the future success with Red River. Can't wait for that film to come out. And, of course, everyone in the live chat, be sure to check them out. Check out their Indiegogo page. It is in the description right now. Be sure to jump over there and give them a look. And if you're able to support them, if you like what they've got, the perks they've got coming up, throw them a bone. If not, share it with somebody who might. So get them to those stretch goals. and see an amazing product when they put it out. I think it's coming out 2022.
That's the plan.
Right.
We're gonna shoot hopefully early 2022. That gives us the end of the year to finalize. We don't want to rush anything because we don't want to make it. We want to make it the best film we can.
Definitely.
God, 2022 is only 4 months away. That's crazy.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
All right. Well, thank you guys very, very much. Thank you, Chance. Thank you, Trey, Eric, Jason. It's been an absolute blast, and we are going to dive even deeper when we come back with together with our After Dark session after this. So thank you guys again. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Peace.
All right, and that brings another episode of Week in Horror to a close. Thank you all so much for listening, and we truly hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next week when we look back at John Carter's Ghost of Mars, The Borderlands, The Cleaning Lady, and Suspect Zero. We'd like to send a special shout out to our amazing patrons who have helped make us the success that we have become. Thank you guys so much. We seriously, truly appreciate your support more than you'll ever know. We'd also like to announce that Joshua Olsen, the talented artist who creates all of the Magnificent Limited Edition t-shirts for us, and our upcoming Season 3 artwork, has opened his own store. If you love the work you've seen here at Week in Horror, be sure to check out all of his wild and amazing creations at www.badsamurai.store. Yeah, and he's done all our limited edition stuff. That stuff is so cool. Go check out what he's got over there.
There's
Support him
pothole
if you
stuff
can.
as well. Yeah, fantastic guy.
Yeah, just unbelievable artist. Visit us at weekinhorror.net where you can find the links to all of our episodes, our bios, our merch store at Teespring. And of course, enter your email for a permanent entry to win a mystery horror shirt every month, courtesy of $6shirts.com. For more horror entertainment, be sure to check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all three. Followers get our daily splatter, a little bit of horror info every day, right to your feed. You never know what new horrors you may discover. Seriously, JL posts some stuff on there that's like, I'm like, what? How did you even find this stuff?
I spend too much of my day hunting down horror movies to add to the database. It
never ends. He's just a spigot.
The blood on
Did you
Satan.
know
the
that
blood
on this
Satan.
day,
the blood on Satan's claw. The blood on Satan's claw is one of the most obscure ones I've ever found. So, but I will find them. I will find them.
Oh, that's good stuff. But subscribe to our channel and smash that bell like a zombie head for all the latest updates from the show. We really hope you enjoy the new live format, and we'd love to get your feedback. Be sure to leave us a comment below, as the interactions really help us with the dreaded algorithm of YouTube. Oh. And lastly, if you truly love what we do here and would like and are able to support our production, you can through our Patreon. We have subscriber tiers as low as $1, bonus and exclusive content, and horror films every month for our higher tiers. However, if you'd prefer, you can support the show through our PayPal as well. Links to everything, including our Discord community, where you can find film recommendations, trailers, trivia games, and horror watch parties, and even talk to us directly, are in the description. And while the country is finally beginning to recover, maybe not, we'll see, from the recent events, we know things are still pretty tight for many people. As always, simply commenting, liking, sharing the show with your friends in your local horror community is the absolute best way to get our name out there and help us to grow. We appreciate each and every one of you for being the greatest audience a podcast could ever ask for. I'm Alex.
I'm Johnny.
I'm JL.
We'll see you next week. And as always, stay scared.